I got a book coming out. My first real book. Thank you. Start Thinking Rich. Which, honestly, now that I have that title, the other title would have been bad. We thought it was a great clickbait headline. It was Stop Being Poor. We put that to the publishers, Wiley, and they're like, this, and then Ramit Sethi, he's a very famous author. He had a Netflix show, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, is his book. We showed it to him. He was like, this ain't a TikTok video. Like, people are going to want to pick up the book. So Start Thinking Rich, right? Because now I can say, who wants to start thinking rich? Who wants to stop being poor? Okay, I'm glad we did this time. Okay, this is my first time actually having a financial mindset lesson. So if I have a few bumps, bear with me. But I'm really excited. This is a topic I'm so passionate about because I've only taught up to this point everything I know about online business. But I feel like underlying secret power onto how I've been able to level up with my wife, and thanks to my parents, and we'll get into all this, but it's knowing what to do with money, how to think about money, having a mindset, abundance about money. So like, no matter what you're doing, whether you're making $1 a month or $1,000 a month, like how you think about money, I think affects everything. And it's such a valuable thing because we don't learn any of this in school and traditional systems. And a lot of times we don't have a millionaire in our family. We can't just rely like, hey, what should I do with my money? I don't like. Usually, the time when you ask that question, you get bad advice, right? So I'm really passionate. I can't wait for a book. It's going to change lives, and I'm super pumped with it. So, first question: what is rich? What does rich mean? Freedom. Oh, gosh, you guys are already thinking ahead. Hold up. Wait, you're saying it's freedom? It's not every person that drives a Lamborghini?
No. Owning your time.
I mean, you got it. What about if someone lives in a house like that? Would you say that person's rich?
Maybe.
Really?
Do they own it outright?
What about the person in Vegas who's like, they're like, this thing where they put your name on the sign and the laser coming out, that's like $8,000. They're just dropping all you. You think that person's rich?
No. Probably not.
What about people that are dripped in Gucci, designer? Does every person wear designer? Are they rich?
No.
Yeah. I don't think so. Rich is time. You guys watch my content, so you guys kind of know the answer to that. Rich is time. Okay, this is how I got really popular online. I was living in the van, making lots of money, millionaire living in a van, contradictory, and I was like, time, rich is time is everything. And then I had a really interesting, I usually don't comment, it wasn't a troll, it was someone that was challenging this idea, that rich is time. And I think we were like 50 comments deep on a thread. And then it changed my mind. Rich is not just time. Because he said, what's the difference between you and someone that's homeless? Because I was saying, I got time, I have time, I can do this, I can do that, I have responsibilities, my money's taking care of me, I'm living in a van. And then the guy's like, so is a homeless person. And I was like, I have to think about this. Because everything I was saying, he's like, a homeless person can do that. And then I was like, okay, rich is time, but it has to be, it's too simplistic of a definition. So I think what came out of that amazing conversation with that subscriber is that rich is time, but it's the freedom of choice. Right? It's time, you have to own your time. A real wealthy person, rich person knows that time is our most valuable asset. We can always make more money, we cannot make more time. But it's also having the freedom of choice. And there's so many examples that we are seeing unconsciously of people who are sadly sacrificing their time for money when you don't have to. But if you're thinking, if you have that rich abundance wealth mindset, you prioritize time as the highest thing and also the freedom of choice. So it's not just time, the freedom to choose. So there's a really awesome story. Who reads books in here? How many books do you read in a month on average? 7? Does someone say 7? Hey, you beat me. I read a book a week. That's amazing. And for people who said 1 a month, those are rookie numbers. You gotta pump those up. Okay, so if you read self-help, you may be very familiar with this story. I was gonna do it off the cuff, but I think I'm just gonna read it. It's about a businessman and a fisherman. Does this sound familiar? Okay, check this out. This is a great example. There once was a businessman who was sitting by the beach in a small Brazilian village. As he sat, he saw a Brazilian fisherman rowing a small boat towards the shore, having caught quite a few big fish. The businessman was impressed, and he asked the fisherman, "How long does it take for you to catch so many fish?" The fisherman replied, "Oh, just a short while." And then he says, "Then why don't you stay longer at sea and catch even more?" The businessman was astonished. "This is enough to feed my whole family," the fisherman said. "So what do you do for the rest of the day?" The fisherman replied, "Well, I usually wake up early in the morning, go out to sea, catch a few fish, then go back and play with my kids. In the afternoon, I take a nap with my wife. The evening comes, I join my buddies in the village. We drink, play guitar, sing, and dance throughout the night." The businessman offered a suggestion. "Well, I'm a PhD in business management. I can help you. From now on, you should spend more time at sea and try to catch as many fish as possible. When you've saved enough money, you could buy a bigger boat and catch even more fish. Soon you'll be able to afford to buy lots of boats, set up your own company, your own production plant for canned food and distribution network. By then, you will have moved out of this small village to Sao Paulo, where you can set up HQ to manage your branches." And the fisherman says, "And after that?" The businessman laughs hardly. "Ha! After that, you can live like a king in your own house, and when the time is right, you can go public, float your shares in the stock exchange, and you'll be rich." The fisherman asks, "And after that?" And the businessman says, "After that, you can finally retire. You can move to a house by a small fishing village, wake up early in the morning, catch a few fish, and return home to play with the kids. Have a nice afternoon nap with your wife, and then the evening comes, you can join your buddies for a drink, play guitar, sing, and dance throughout the night." The fisherman was puzzled. "Isn't that what I'm doing now?" Right? This is the whole concept. To be rich is to have time and freedom of choice. So this guy might have all those nice things, Lamborghini, the mansion, but he doesn't have freedom of choice. He is so trapped that he thinks wealth, his definition of wealth is not freedom and time. It's more. I need more. I need more money. It's never enough. I need to buy. I need to consume. I need to accumulate. I need to expand. I need to scale all the way to public company, which you could say is in capitalism would be the best thing you could do in capitalism. But the fisherman's like, I have freedom. I have time. I have everything I need. I have enough. I actually feel like we need to say this because this is something that is not common in entrepreneurship, to actually say, "I have enough." Ready? I have enough. It's crazy. This is not a shared mindset. Because it's also tricky. We want to be rich, we want to be successful, but we don't want that ambition to consume us to the point where all we think is, it's no matter what level you achieve, it's about the next level. So it's such a tricky balance. To be rich and wealthy, you have to have freedom to do whatever you like, whenever you like, as many times as you like. Freedom. To me, that is wealth. I was going to talk about ownership of anything. It's that freedom of choice. Okay, so I say rich and wealthy, and for sake of this principle, we're going to separate the two. There is a difference. To be rich and to be wealthy. And rich, I would say, is everyone in this room. You guys are crushing that. Rich is your ability to earn, your ability to earn income. And the fact that you're in this room right now, learning, studying, that means you're working on it. You are actively trying to improve your rich skill set. Wealth is a combination of two skill sets. The first is the ability to save. And then the last is the ability to take the money that you make and have it make money. That typically is known as investing. So you have these three skill sets. The first, the ability skill set, the ability to earn. The second, the ability to save. And lastly, the third, the ability to invest. And it's crazy because you can't just be good at one of these things. In order to achieve the end goal in this room, which is freedom of choice and time, you have to know how to do all of them. For example, rich is not enough. This is crazy. 70% of people that win the lottery, 5 years later, gone. Right? How many people have heard this? Maybe even said it. If I only had like a couple extra $1,000 a month, like my financial goal would go away. That's probably what they thought. And they won 20, 30, 50, 100 million. It's like, we never have to worry about money again. It's crazy. You have to know why this is not enough because someone that earns, and here's another crazy stat, 50% of people that make 6 figures live paycheck to paycheck. How does that make sense? It's because the wealth skill set they don't have. They're really good. They're really good. They got that rich skill set. They got a high-end corporate job. They make a lot of money. When that money comes in, it goes out. They're driving the nicest car, living in a nice place, going out to eat all the time. It's like, hey, I make good money. I make good money. But wealth, saving, investing, not a skill set. Not a skill set. Just because you're good at one, they don't have the other. Okay, now wealth skill set is also not enough. Now, times have changed. My parents' generation, the generation before, you could have gone away with this by just saving. Interest rates were pretty stellar. Like, they could get a lot on their money. You could just put it in the bank. But I just pulled this up the other day. The interest rate was actually pretty good last year, but 0.45%. Inflation, isn't inflation skyrocketing now? I can't even say it's 3%, it's like 5% now. So essentially, you got $100,000 in the bank, you're making, we'll just round that up to 1%. Inflation is 5%. That means you're actually losing 4% every year. Cost of everything is increasing, right? So, savers used to be enough, now it's not. You can be, I think saving is probably the hardest thing in our generation and time for many reasons, but some of them are in your control more than others. And the biggest challenge with saving, the ones that are in your control, have to do with status and ego. I deserve typically ends with a bill. I deserve, I should, I believe I need it, I should be able to drive. I deserve this car. I deserve to eat out tonight. This is, where does that come from? It comes from ego. It comes from status. Investing. Let's say you got a rich skill set. You're a high earner. Your side hustle is taking off, and you're saving it. It's in the bank. And then when it comes to investing, you're like, I heard of this thing called NFTs. And so you take all that money, you put in NFT because this thing's going to blow up. It's going to the moon, right? Really good at earning, incredible saver, keeping costs low, and you went all in on this incredibly risky asset, and then you might have rode a little bit and crashed. Dude, I remember when crypto was going crazy for the first time, I was getting crypto advice from everybody. He's sitting in my barber chair. It's like, oh yeah, so I'm making like 20% on it every single day on this crypto thing, and then I trade it from this coin, then I move it to this coin. I was like, my barber's telling me advice. Then I hop in an Uber, and the Uber driver was like, oh yeah, I'm making like $30,000 a month, basically the amount that in this crypto coin scheme he was doing. And I was like, if this is a sign that bubble's going to happen, like it's like telling me, like, the fact that I'm getting advice, I can't go anywhere without someone telling me their incredibly get-rich-quick opportunity with crypto. And then what happened? It crashed, right? So again, that's now, you can be good at 2 of the 3 things, and still not enough. You have to know how to invest. Shiny object syndrome, opportunity. So it really is a combination of mastering all 3. So, to be extra clear, rich and your rich skill set is not related to your wealth skill sets. Data proves that, facts prove that, and just logic explained to you, everyone's like, yeah, that makes sense. Logic, so the thing about it from an ego standpoint is there's assumptions in our culture that if you are a high income earner, by default, that means you're good at wealth. But that is not true. These are skill sets like any skill set that you have to practice and you have to learn. And no one is good at it. And most people don't have a good example. So it is on you to basically learn those things. Steph, in her story, she's such an inspirational person, but she demonstrates how hard it was to come from when she was financially dependent on her significant other, and the significant other wasn't a good guy, right? So this idea, sometimes when we think about these skill sets, it's like because they are daunting and to learn, we kind of, oh, my partner takes care of that. Like, what do you guys do with your money? My partner takes care of that. And I'm telling you right now, that's not good. Everyone needs to be on the same page. Ashley and I, every single month, we have a financial meeting. First of the month, we talk about all things: money, income, investments. We have it on, and we're not spreadsheet warriors. This is something we just do once because I don't want to be. You can really get addicted to this and just look at spreadsheets every day. And we just review, and so we both know where things are at. That way, we have two heads thinking about us, our team working together. If you have someone to do that with, some of you are on your own, and so it's all on you. But I just want to let you know it's these skill sets that no one's good at, and that's why we all have to learn to get better. So no one should ever feel guilt or ashamed that you don't know how to do this stuff, because they don't teach us. It's all on us. That sounds like a lot of pressure, but it's also very empowering. It provides agency to know I actually am in control. I do have the ability to change my financial destiny. I do have the ability to improve my rich skill set. Everyone here, check one, because you're here. You're here to try to earn more money. So you are doing everything you can on the rich skill set. And now it's like, how do I save better and how do I invest better? And those are two skill sets we're all working on, including myself. Yeah, and NFTs, no good. So you have to master all three. So, I'm a little ahead. Congrats, everyone here is working on a rich skill set. Okay, wealth skill set, saving. There's some deal killers. I'm just going to list a couple examples. How many pairs of shoes do you have? If you have 2 pairs of shoes, raise your hand. All right. If you have more than, don't raise your hand. I don't want to shake your hand. I just want to hear like a soft roar. If you have over 5 pairs of shoes, then you're a roar. Yeah. You have more than 10 pairs of shoes? Yeah. 15? Yeah. 20? Yeah. 30? 40? Why do we have so many shoes?
Because I love them.
Okay, hold up. We'll take that if that's part of your business and life that you love. For sake of this conversation, though, and we're going to talk about consumption. I could ask that question about a lot of things. How many shoes do you? Why do you have 12 pairs of shoes and 2 feet? Why is every crevice in your house full of boxes of stuff that when you moved in there, it's there and you have not opened it? Why is it that you have every kitchen gadget imaginable? Why do you have 20 pots and pans? Like this is the culture that we're in. It's America. More is better, and we're getting sucked into it. I have to say, when we were doing van life, it was really liberating to sell everything. Everything we owned was in that van. It was awesome. Can't say I'm a minimalist anymore, but if you do come over to my house and you open up drawers, they're going to be empty. So we have, and that's the hardest thing now that we're in a normal home, is like, don't get sucked into the trap. I need all these things. So consumption, that's going to be the hardest thing to do. Is like the next upgrade, the new iPhone, the latest, the greatest. This thing these products that we really don't need, they don't make us happy. Next, this is the big one. Where you live. This one's toughest one, because based on your income, it might be at a place might be too nice for where you're at now. My parents, last time we were in San Diego, we went to I think it was your guys' first house. It was a pink house, and I remember as a kid, it felt so big. It was like a mansion. It was beautiful, nice, and I remember the pink, because not all houses are pink. When we drove by there, we like pulled up. It was so ghetto. We're like, I don't think we want to get out here. And then we kept going. My dad was like, I can't believe it. There was like trash everywhere and stuff. It was a crappy place. I remember my first time when I rented in Dubuque. My parents came over, and my dad got angry because he was so disappointed at how shitty the place was. Where you live in our American culture is a reflection of a status symbol, and it's part of your ego. And I just shared those 2 examples. All of us could live in nicer places. We take on more consumption, more debt. But I'm very grateful I had great examples of parents who live not just modestly, but under their means. Their saving skill set was insane. They were so good at it. And that instilled to me that I'm not going to live in a place that's nicer than I can afford. I'm actually going to try to live in a shittier place. So shitty that the person I learned it from is going to give me shit about it, right? And where you live's the biggest one. The next is also what you drive, right? We're going to get into having nice things at the end. I'll also be a big hypocrite, but what you drive. All it does is need to go from point A to point B. And also, in case you guys didn't forget, I lived in a van. Okay? But this is the biggest one out of all those. It's bigger than the home. It's a bigger detriment than a car. It's the ego. Ego is the enemy. It's the idea. It's this status. It's keeping up with the Joneses. It's opening up Instagram and seeing someone having nice things and thinking that you deserve nice things. And trust me, you guys do. But if you're on the path to being rich and wealthy, it's not about the thing. It's about time and freedom. You have to remember that I want time and freedom. Someone else, they have that nice thing and they have to trade their time for it. They're either sacrificing for it now or they're sacrificing it later. And you won't be able to win that or feel that scenario until you are at the point where you want to retire. But then at that point, when you are on early retirement and those people still have to go to work, that's like, now I feel like I'm so glad I didn't let my ego win every single day I went shopping. And when I was angry or upset, and I was like, I need some retail therapy, right? These are all toxic things. They all come from inside here. And I'm glad I can live I lived in a van, because if I didn't have that, I feel like that was the truest test. Like, can I actually live with essential? And it was great. And if I lost everything and I had to go back in the van, it'd be a great life, right? So I've detached the ego from stuff. Parents, skill set saving. This is in my book. This photo. This is my dad here. You can't see it. He's wearing a Toyota shirt. This is an awesome story. It's in my book. My parents, they didn't buy new clothes for, I can't remember, it was like 3-4 years, something insane. And this was a shirt that work gave him. And when you look back at family photos during that stretch of time, he's always wearing that shirt. This is not we're not at the office. This is a weekend barbecue. But they didn't buy clothes. They in fact used the clothes that work gave him. Can you imagine in today's society, you're walking around with your like mechanical like Toyota shirt, like gross. Like, what do we think? We judge. But they're working on their saving skill sets to an extreme that most people wouldn't even consider today, right? Because their ego wasn't attached. They were thinking about saving, financial freedom, time freedom. So 3 secret problem mindsets. Wealth, the savers. And we said, I have enough. That's the first one. I have enough. The next, and the clarification of the difference. This guy, the fisherman, has enough. The businessman will never have enough. So it'll be an endless game of chasing more. More doesn't actually mean better. In fact, and sometimes it means worse. And also, the more stuff you own, it owns you. These are all powerful mindsets. Write them down. Think about them. The more stuff you own, the more it owns you. More does not equal better. Marketers, including myself, sometimes we're lying to you. More does not equal better. I don't sell much physical products anymore, but if you go look in any shop, any store, any advertisement, what do they advertise? A better life to buy. Okay, this clicker actually is coming pretty handy today. But, products are always marketed to be better, but more does not actually mean better. So, wealth skill sets, investing. Here are the things that can derail you. Shiny object syndrome, the next big thing, the next big crypto, the next big coin. What's the stock right now everyone's talking about?
NVIDIA.
Yes. Yes, that's the next big thing.
What is it?
NVIDIA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was almost hesitant to say that out loud because that's how much I don't follow it. But there's always noise. The next big thing. These can derail you. Having all your eggs in one basket. I'm not a hater against NFTs or crypto. But when it comes to investing, to me, this is the highest riskiest form of investment where you could lose the money that you put in. That's called speculative investments. And when you look at your total financial portfolio, it should make up 10% or less of your entire net worth. So you got a friend's candle business, you got you want to invest into the hot stock. That's all good. Just make sure it's 10% or less of your entire net worth. Because in case it goes up, that's awesome, you're participating. But in case it goes down, you didn't lose everything, right? That's how a wealthy person thinks. I got some crypto, but it's this compared to my entire portfolio. Because I know it could go up, or one day we might make jokes about, remember all those idiots about Bitcoin? I have no idea. But all I know is I want to participate a little bit, and I don't want to risk everything. And then the last one. This one also, we'll say it carefully. A lot of people, when they talk about investing, I'm investing, but what I'm actually hearing, because I guess now I'm the author, is they're gambling. So you invest. Oh yeah, I got a couple stocks. I'm like, you're gambling. The idea, I probably think every male, specifically male ego goes through this idea or notion that we're smart enough we can figure out the stock market. It's crazy. We can't. We're not Warren Buffett. So this idea that when investing is actually picking stocks is, we talk about this a lot in my book, this is a detrimental. Because picking a stock is buying one business. And the more you put into one business, it's like having all your eggs in one basket. When there's funds, a fund that is like the S&P 500, do we all kind of know what that is?
Yep.
There's ETFs, index funds, where by investing into the one fund, you're actually investing into 500 different companies. So you're diversified. It's the difference between having your eggs in one basket, and I am not smart enough, and I don't think, actually the statistic is, this is crazy, 95% of professional traders over a time span of 30 years have a loss on their books. That's measuring the 30 years. So they're up right now, and the stock market's up right now. The stock market's crazy. You could pick any stock right now, and then as long as the stock market goes up, you're going to think you're a really good trader when all the stock markets go like this. And then when it crashes, it's going to be the most costly learning lessons like, crap, that was probably a bad idea. So when it comes to investing, make sure you're diversified. There's lots of funds that basically one fund is made up of hundreds and hundreds of investments. That's actual investing when it comes to the stock market versus thinking that we can just pick a stock. Also to clarify, picking stocks, totally cool. You want to play it's like playing a game as well. Just make sure it's not more than 10% of your entire net worth, because picking stocks is also speculative investing. So to someone that has that wealth skill set, they have a portfolio. They're doing something called dollar cost averaging. Investing is an emotional nightmare. Especially if you look at the stocks, you're like, okay, today, I got my calendar invite, today I'm going to invest. And then you pull up the stock market, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's really rose. Specifically, if you do that today, you're like, it's really risen. I'm thinking I'm going to wait, actually, until it goes on sale. It's seems too expensive right now. And then what happens is, maybe next month you go and check, and it's like, oh, crap, everything's down. Maybe it's going to go down more. I'm going to skip. We're emotional creatures. We cannot have the stomach. I don't think anyone has the stomach to make that conscious decision. If you are consciously investing, you're always going to lose. Because dollar cost averaging is basically setting up an automatic investment amount that goes in and you don't think about it. And I am so thankful that we can do this, because I do not have the stomach to look at the stock market, because that idea is like, should I wait until it goes down and then I can buy it and then it would go up? And then when it's riding, I was like, crap, it's too expensive. Because as emotional creatures, we're just looking right now today. We can't foresee 30 years from now. But here's what's crazy. And if you are someone that is like wants to set this up and then you're also kind of get sucked in by looking at the prices, go to 2008. Look at the worst day after the 2008 crash, and run the calculation yourself. If you would have put 1,000 or 10,000 or however much money in on the worst financial crash that's happened since 2008, and today you'd be like, oh, that would have been a great investment, because that's time. We can't see ahead, right? We only can think and feel emotionally. So you have to do dollar cost averaging. My wife and I meeting every single month, and then books. And I have a book coming out. But if you go to adrianbrambila.com/books, I also have some of my favorite financial books there that I recommend. But you have to take that on yourself. So now, what is rich? You guys kind of knew the answer from the beginning. It's not this. It's the freedom of time and choice. But not nice things. Let's talk about who wants nice things. So I mean, it's okay to have nice things, right?
I hope so.
There's a Cybertruck out there. I can't ignore it. Okay, where does nice things come into play? How do you reward yourself? Here's the difference between what someone who's wealthy purchases nice things and someone who's trading their time. When you master your rich skill set, you master your saving skill set, and you master that third one, investing. This third skill set is going to produce an income that's truly called passive income. In internet marketing, we talk about passive income. It's not really technically passive. It's working all the time. This is actually passive. This is like your money making money. And so a wealthy person actually eventually will make most of their money just from the investing side. And so when someone has a nice thing, a wealthy person that buys it, they don't buy it from their rich skill set. They buy it from their wealth skill set. That's the key difference. It's okay to have nice things, but a wealthy person is not going to take their $150,000 salary and then get a car loan so they can drive the Cybertruck. The wealthy person is going to save as much money, or earn as much money, save as much money, invest that money, and then when that money starts accumulating money, your dividends, real estate, whatever you're doing here, that's basically, okay, now that's my play money. And that money I'm going to buy because now my money is making money. That's the biggest difference. It is okay to have nice things, but you got to do it the smart way. Because when you do it this way, that's wealth. When you do it this way, that's time. If you take out, you take out the car payment, you get a nicer place. Now you have to work more to basically cover that. If you lost your income, it's going to struggle. When you have it here, an investment, you don't even think about it. That's the key difference. So, buy nice things with true passive investment income. It's totally okay to have nice things. So, mastering all the skill sets. Rich. Earning skill set. Saving skill set. Wealth skill set. When you do that, that is how you can start thinking rich. So, what do you think? First financial attack. Did I do okay? Thank you. This is, again, super passionate about this subject. I feel like this book is going to change a lot of lives. Start Thinking Rich. My co-author is Dr. Brett Klantz. He's the leading psychologist of wealth in the world. His clients are like people that are worth like 500 billion. They work with him, so he's amazing. We do have an offer for you guys. That QR code will go to the book on Amazon. You can pre-order it. And right now, we have Brad and I have created like a financial Start Thinking Rich class. It will retail for $4.97, but we're actually just giving it for everyone who pre-orders the book. Our book comes out November 1st. And then we also have a community. How many people are in there already, by the way? Okay, that's amazing. Thank you, guys. Okay, I have an offer for people today to also pre-order. And in case you did get a book, you can get another book to get this if you want. Ramit Sethi, this is Ramit Sethi's idea. He has a really awesome newsletter. And he basically has people submit their entire financial portfolio. People are willing to do that. And then he creates his own content based off that. And I want to do that, but I don't want to make it public because it's very personal information. Brad and I will review every person who fills out, who wants to take advantage of this opportunity. We will personally look at all the stuff you got and then give you our recommendation on ideology, mindset, and tactics. And I got to be super clear on this one when we do this. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not certified. He is. So he's the guy that on paper could do that. I can help with a lot of the mindset thinking. So that's a really cool offer for anyone that pre-orders the book today on Amazon. And if you already have a book and you want to take advantage of the opportunity, you can get and hopefully gift that book. But startthinkingrich.com or that QR code. I don't know if that will work, but hopefully. And
Buy another book and then we get that.
If you want us to review and send something, and it is up to you if you want to keep it private, or if you would give permission to us to share, because that's going to be our new podcast. Is kind of walking through people's finances and helping them in that way. So cool. Who's ready to start thinking rich? Awesome. Cool. Well, that was fun. I feel like, yeah, this is something I'm super passionate about. I'm excited to help people in this way. We got a very last speaker for this session before we break out for lunch. Nicole Johnson has such a kind and generous heart. I'm so excited to have her up here. Everyone's root here. Let's go, Nicole.